All right, welcome everybody. Settle in, kick back. Should be some really quality information. We are going to have the one and only Mike Bellafiore laying some knowledge down on us. Real trade setup a guy here used to become a seven-figure trader. And one thing I'll talk about later, what do we really mean when we say seven-figure trader? I'll give you a hint. It's not seven figures worth of buying power. It's a little bit better than that. So another thing that we're really excited about right now that's also a part of this webinar, I'm going to be coming in and out throughout the webinar and speaking about it, is the winning trader. Okay? For you guys being here on this webinar, you can get $500 off the winning trader for this private sale. Just use the promo code, that second bullet point there, WIN17. This is only good through midnight tonight. That's it. Okay? We just get really fired up about this time of year with Winning Trader. Last year was our first year to do this program. Most of what SMB does is around, here's the key fundamentals, here's what you got to learn, here's the mindset you got to have, here's how to spot a held bid, these kind of things. This program is a little unique for us in that it teaches actual setups. Look for this situation, buy here, sell here. And it's taught by high-performing traders on our desk that are literally sharing with you what they do day in and day out to make a living, okay? This is not some online guru trying to share you some bogus setups or junk out there, okay? Very different here. Now, with us today, before Bella gets started, we have a little treat. I want you to meet Dennis. And let me back up for 1 second. When we have the winning trader, there is a winner of the winning trader, okay? You win a free foundation, $8,000 value, in our New York trading desk right here. You get to come on the house, in the house, and train with us, okay? 6 weeks of training. Dennis, who's sitting right here with me, was the winner from last year's inaugural Winning Trader program. And Dennis, I just would like to ask you, come on over here. I want to know what your honest experience with the program was, what kind of lessons you learned, how, if it made you a better trader and whatnot. And we've talked about some of these things, but I want to share with you guys.
Yeah, so I don't know. I started out part of the SMB community and I took the SMB Winning Trader course. Now I'm here. Now I feel like I did a front flip, jumped through my computer, and now I became SMB. So look, the course is great. Some of the best money I've ever spent. If you really want to improve, I know some of you might be hard to, whether the money's worth it, what you're going to learn from it. You're going to get setups with edge, real setups, real trades that you can apply to your trading. So I improved my game. I've got new setups, and which I can now apply. And the experience was to learn from better traders, guys that are 10 times better than you, to be able to be around them and to be able to co-opt what they do every single day and improve. This is an experience I'll never forget, and I'm getting better every day. So that's why I'm here, to improve, to get better, and hopefully to close that gap between what those guys are doing and to become one of them eventually. I don't know.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I don't know. Good luck, guys. I hope you improve, and I hope you get as much out of this as you can.
So the benefits of this online class are to learn the setup that took one firm trader from floundering 6 to 8 months in his career to seven-figure trader. To see recent examples of this setup that took this trader from floundering to seven-figure trader, setups that we've been trading recently, setups traded on the desk. We will share with you guys the trading path of the seven-figure trader, which may surprise you. So one of the unique things that we do here at SME Training is not just lay out setups, but share with you anecdotes, experiences of people who are going through the process of going from new and developing to professional trader. What's that journey like? Who are the guys that are successful? Why are they successful? What are the setups that they're seeing success with? What are their habits? What are their best practices? and letting you guys get a peek into that. We'll answer your questions, put them in the chat as you go along, and we'll go ahead and answer them. And then we're going to introduce your opportunity to take, as Dennis did, the winning trader, and perhaps, like Dennis, join us in New York City to spend a bunch of time with us in-house. The course is built around equities trading, and the pattern we're going to talk about today is equities trading. We do train in options and futures and equities and systems trading, and Merritt is actually a good person to talk to if you're an options trader or a futures trader or a systems trader, and that's something you want to talk about. So let's talk about Big Dog. First, we're going to introduce the character, the person, what he was like, and give you some insight into that. So I was actually invited, Merritt came along with me as well, to go to Singapore and share 8 setups that we're working on our trading desk and match that with 8 traders who were trading these setups and doing really well. So we got asked to fly out to Singapore and present at a pretty big conference out there last summer. And I was getting ready to put together a presentation, and I was trying to think about one of the trades to share, and I wanted to talk about Big Dog as one of the 8 people that we wanted to talk about. And so I thought of a trade that he had made, and he, on this very day that I'm putting together this presentation, and after I'd actually finished his part of the presentation, he made this trade in one stock. He made this huge gain of a little over $50,000 in one trade using his favorite pattern, which is actually the pattern we're going to talk about today. And so then I had to erase what I had done and type up the new trade where he just made over $50,000. The problem was, and then 2 days later, in the same stock, in the same trade, he made over $150,000 in the trade. So then I had to erase that and then put that trade in and teach that pattern. So that is the pattern we're actually going to discuss today. So this trader in year 1 did become a consistently profitable trader by the end of year 1. This trader, year 2, did become a high-performing trader. That's a pretty fast learning curve, and in year 3 he was green shirt eligible. For those of you who actually went to our holiday party last night, green shirt eligible means what? You know, it's 7 figures. So if you make over 7 figures in a year, you get a green shirt. One of the more impressive trades he made earlier in his career was putting a $10 million buying power market trade on in this very pattern in SPY, which is really hard to trade, right? I mean, SPYs are probably one of the last things you're going to conquer as a trader, particularly as an active trader here. Big Dog, you know, we come in here at 11 o'clock every day, and we go over the patterns that work on the open. We call that trader development. It's a mentoring session we hold every day. I would get off the desk at 11 o'clock, and he is so explosive that oftentimes I come back after the meeting was over, 11:20, 11:30, boom, I'd look at his P&L and he'd go from, you know, up a couple $1,000s to up $30,000. Very, very explosive trader. This pattern that we're going to talk about is a very, very explosive pattern. Now, Big Dog didn't go to a great college. He wasn't a former college athlete, Division I athlete. There is the history on Wall Street, which is essentially, you know, when I started, you had to go to an Ivy League school, you had to be a Division I athlete, or some combination of that. That was who made up Wall Street. That wasn't Big Dog. He didn't have any trading experience, but he did work very hard. One of the things that stands out from his learning path was on the Saturdays, he would come in and he would take all of his trades and he would crunch them in these Excel spreadsheets, and he would find the trades that he had edge with, and he would find the trades that he didn't have edge with, and then he would look at chart patterns for things that really worked during the week, and he figured out a way to distill them down into numbers so he could put them into an Excel spreadsheet, and he got statistical information about certain setups that did really well. And that's actually what led him to this setup that he really went on to try and master, and did master. Exceptionally driven, almost to a fault. And so, look, this trader is a seven-figure producer, and a lot of people might think somebody who's a seven-figure producer is some sort of prodigy, or his equity curve is, straight up like this. He drew down over a couple $100,000 multiple times, 3 times actually, in 1 year. And there were a lot of sessions behind closed doors where we would have private talks because I sensed that he was really down. Or we would have talks about, hey, you drew down, that's kind of, you're taking some trades that you probably shouldn't. Let's understand where you do make money, and you're not really trading your setups where you have a lot of edge and you're putting a lot of size on, and that's the real reason why this isn't really working out right now. But there were a lot of sessions where we were talking him through how he could get out of his hole. Again, a trader that was a consistently profitable trader year 1, high performing trader year 2, green shirt earner year 3, and it wasn't a straight line. Natural risk taker. So I say that because I'm sure there are a lot of people listening at home. I'm sure there's some people in the room who go through some bumps, go up, hit up against some walls and feel like this I'm doing this because I can't really make it. I can't really become a good trader. And this is somebody who succeeded, and this is how he felt. He had times where he struggled. He had times where he needed to reset. He had times where he got off track. He had times where he needed a lot of help. Did make steady progress at the start, but not a prodigy. I actually have had the privilege of training one prodigy. I have had one trader make $1 million in year 1, and more than that in years 2 and year 3. But he was not a prodigy, but steady, slow and steady and making progress. So the big dog trade. Look for a stock in play. These are the variables of the trade. Look for a stock in play. A stock in play is something that has a news catalyst behind it. We'll show you examples of that. Look for something that's holding above VWAP. Look for tight consolidation wedge patterns. That's the trade that we're going to focus on. Look for areas where you can spot that you're wrong to control your risk. Look for volume spikes to confirm a breakout. We'll show that with one trade. Look for R-vol to be elevated in a particular setup. As I said, look for that news catalyst, a new product, a growth stock, earnings well ahead of expectations, margins much better than expected, and get big. Get big. So R-vol is the relative volume. R-vol means at a given time of the day, how much volume does a stock normally trade? So let's say that from 9:30 to 10:30, the normal volume of a stock is 1 million shares. And then we have another day, and it's 10:30, and the stock has traded 5 million shares. R-vol is going to be 5. So it's the comparison of how much volume has been done at that point on a given day relative to past days. So it's really, in its truest sense, a measurement of how in play the stock is. A high R-vol tells us that the stock is really in play. A high R-vol gives us some evidence that the stock is more likely to follow through. When I'm looking at a stock and trading it, I will peek at the R-vol. That gives me confirmation that this stock is really in play. So I traded Mattel today pretty well. We did a video about that. I'm looking at Mattel, I'm seeing a pattern that's set up and is one of my favorite patterns, a changing fundamentals trade. And I'm looking at R-val to be like, I think it's in play. It looks like it's in play to me. Oh, it is in play. R-val is really high. And you got to get big. You got to get big in the trades that you really like. And the other thing about this trade, and the other observation about Big Dog, is that he wasn't trying to capture the bottom of the move all the way to the top of the move. He was capturing the middle of the move, the meat of the moves. And I think a lot of newer traders feel like they have to be perfect. You know, I've got to capture the bottom by the penny, and I've got to capture it all the way up to the top to the penny. Now, Swang does that, obviously. You know, we all like laugh at how Swang shorts the top, Swang gets long the bottom. He has incredible trading skill. He is a marvel. But this trade, you don't need to do that. So why is this my new favorite trading setup to teach? We've been emphasizing this setup with you guys more of late. Why? Our risk reward is remarkable. 1 to 10 and better. You know exactly where you're wrong in a setup, so your exit is clearly defined. I think a lot of times in trades you're like, I'm not really sure where to get out. I'm not sure where to get out if I'm wrong. In this type of a setup, you know exactly where to exit. This trade does not require many trade decisions mid-trade. A lot of trades you're in, you do a lot of thinking about, should I get out? Should I lighten up? Should I add? There are less trade decisions for this setup. You see this setup daily. So you can make a lot of money on it. It's not something that comes around, you know, a couple of times a month. There are guys on our desk who build models based on back tests for strategies that they really like, but they only fire maybe 5 or 6 times a month. This is a trade you're going to see multiple times each day. And I think in our 11 o'clock meeting, I can't remember the last time we didn't talk about this setup during the AM meeting. It's an easy trade for students to understand. It's visually appealing. You can just look at a chart and get it. There are very clear variables to it. Sometimes scalping can be not as easy to define. There's more feel that goes into this. This is visual. This has variables. This is clearly defined. This trade has spurred, in this case, a floundering new and developing trader to becoming a 7-figure trader. So let's talk about one of the trades. So this is a tight consolidation pattern that we're going to talk about. We break trades down into 5 variables. We look at the big picture. We look at technicals. We look at intraday fundamentals. We look at reading the tape. We look at intuition to make a trade decision. So in this case, let's talk about the big picture. So OPP, the company is Ocean Power Technologies, and it's a company that's trying to find new and innovative ways to use the ocean as a source of power. And on July 15th, they deployed their PB3 power buoy 4 miles off the New Jersey coast. The buoy is used to generate electrical energy from ocean wave power. So essentially, they are tapping into a new revenue source. This is new. It didn't exist. Now we're getting news that they can make more money. In its most basic, most elemental sense, that's what we're talking about. And when we're trading stocks, we're looking for fundamentals like that. A company has a new drug, a company has a new product. The company is either going to, in this case Mattel was a good trading stock today. Mattel gave us information that they were going to make a lot less money going forward than we had thought yesterday. We call it a changing fundamentals trade. You know, in this case, there's opportunity for OPTT to make a lot more money going forward. So the day prior to this, the stock had gone up almost 4 points before it had pulled in to close about 2 points higher than where it opened. And additionally, the stock had a consistent uptrend in the pre-market leading into the open. So the trade strategy, and this was put together by one of the guys in our class, our last class, I believe. So the way that when we're putting together a playbook trade, as I mentioned, we want to look at the big picture, we want to look at intraday fundamentals, we want to look at technicals, we want to look at reading the tape, we want to look at intuition. And then also, as a part of that, we want to break down a trade strategy for a particular trade. So, we're showing you this in what we call SMB playbook template form. We're breaking down a trade, we're distilling a trade down into variables. This is a tight consolidation pattern, a wedge pattern. And when we're doing that, we are thinking about, if we were to trade this pattern 1,000 times, what would our trade strategy be overall? That's a really good way to look at your trades. We're building our business. Our business is the trade strategies where we feel we have edge, our trade strategies that we feel comfortable with and match our talents. And then we want to develop rules around how we're going to go about attacking these particular trades time and time again. How are we going to trade this well over a period of time? So strong opening drive, flag pattern, consolidating above yesterday's high, SPY supports the up move, high R vol, way above average volume on the day, high R vol, uptrend in the pre-market. So when you're putting together your playbook trade, just like I told you a couple slides ago what the trade was in variable form, you want to put that together as well. You want to see trades as variables. You want to see trades as a compilation of variables. So my strategy going into the trade would have been to buy on the long consolidated wedge breakout. There were a number of long wedge patterns that formed over an extended period of time that offered some very good and fairly obvious chances to get in, which eventually led to a breakout. If the stock had moved against me, I'd look to make sure that it's breaking and holding under the $10 area. And at that point, I would have been sure to get out of my position and look for a sign that this move is done for now and when to get back in again. First of all, I never use market orders. And I would suggest that a professional trader would never use a market order. Not only do we never use market orders, but we use very sophisticated sweep orders. Actually, we had our holiday party last night. Not only do we use very sophisticated orders, but we talk a lot about routing. This is a little bit insider baseball, but we're constantly talking about what is the best way to route our trades through dark pools, through the lit market. When you are just putting market orders in, I mean, that is prehistoric. I mean, people just don't do that. You are inviting yourself to have somebody else steal your money. You only put limit orders in. And not only do you put limit orders in, you put smart limit orders in. Like, you guys know Boris is in here working with you guys on all the different types of routes that we have, right? Yeah. And we have good routes now. Like, we're talking to, we spent 2 days this week talking about how we can improve even our really good routes. So that really adds up. When you get to the point where you're making 5 million shares a month, Swang the other day traded 2 million shares in a day. If he were to use market orders, he may, I don't know if he'd bankrupt the firm, but we would if you do we would lose a lot of money as opposed to what he's doing. So don't use market orders. I'll show you actually how we're going to enter as we go a little bit further. But as you can see right here, you've got a double top. In this case, there's a consolidation above that double top. You've got an uptrend in the pre-market. So we're above a technical level that offered a lot of resistance. We're holding above that technical level, and we're getting ready to see what will happen. And so we get above those levels, we have a little bit of a push higher, and then we get the trade. And then we get the setup, and this is the visual that we're going to show a bunch of examples during this online class about. but this is the visual. I was talking today about a Mattel trade that looked visually appealing to me, and I think some of the guys around me were a little bit confused as to why I felt so comfortable about it. And it's not, I just did. I felt comfortable because I've seen the chart pattern time and time again, and I like that chart pattern that I saw on Mattel that we did a video on. But this is a pattern I like as well. The stock is in a very tight wedge pattern. We see lots of wedge patterns in this room together. We talk a lot about them, but do you see how tight that wedge pattern is? Do you see how clear the break to the upside is? And the reason, let's just sort of take a step back. The reason why this setup is so powerful is you've got a stock that's in play. And when you have a stock that's in play, that means you've got really big players, some who are short and some who are really long. Okay? And when it's really in play, oftentimes it's moved away from a price that it was at for a long period of time. So you get these people fighting. You get some people who are like, no, this move to the upside is unsustainable. You get some other people who are like, are you kidding me? This is the buying opportunity of the quarter. And they fight. And that wedge pattern right there is the coming together of very, very large players. Somebody's going to win. And when somebody wins, we're going to get an outside move. That is the reason why stocks in play move so much. And so not only are we going to get a move that moves away pretty nicely, but we have an area where it's clearly going to move away. Above the top of that wedge, we're going to get a nice move to the upside. And then we get another really, really tight consolidation pattern at a higher price. Again, it's above that longer term level. It's a stock that's in play. It's a stock that's holding above VWAP. Okay, that last breakout we can see on the bottom, we got volume spike confirmation. Volume increases as we break outside of the wedge. We get a really tight consolidation pattern again. When it breaks to the upside, we get volume increasing again. So you got above VWAP, volume spike coming in, really tight consolidation above a longer term technical level, a news catalyst in this stock to drive it higher, big players fighting at this level coming together. And that's what causes these really outside moves and opportunities where the risk reward is tremendous. You know, we don't just look at these chart patterns and be done with it. One of the things that we do a lot here in this room is we offer critical feedback. So during our mentoring sessions, people are going to bring up wedge patterns. And, you know, Dennis, you might bring up a wedge pattern. And I think my expression today with your trading of eBay was, I don't know if I want to do it on camera, and I don't know if actually people can see me at home, but you know, it's the expression when you really scrunch your nose up, and you scrunch your nose up, meaning like do you, I don't want to be in that play. So, you know, eBay on its face seemed like a good stock to select, but it really wasn't a great stock to trade. It was a little cringeworthy for me. And so, you know, part of what we did with Big Dog a lot of times was I knew the pattern he really liked, and I'd feed him setups that looked really good. And I'd watch when he was trading way too much size in wedge patterns that were not really very, very good. Maybe the volume wasn't coming in. Maybe the stock wasn't really in play. Maybe his entry price was not good enough. There are a lot of reasons. And so the point is that we identified a trading setup that he really liked, we knew it, and in real time we were constantly chatting about very specific and different wedge pattern trades, constantly, and multiple times a day. We were constantly having sessions behind closed doors praising him when he was really big and things really worked out so that he did more of that, and slowing him down when he started forcing some things. And so, look, there's never been anyone, I think sometimes people think guys walk around here and make a lot of money and they just kind of walked in the room and they always made a lot of money. They've earned it, and we've earned the right for them to walk around making a lot of money because, they brought talent and hard work and a lot of things to the table, but, we were there too. So lessons from Big Dog. You must know your A-plus trade. Like Mattel today, I love that trade. I wrote a post about that trade. We shot a video about that trade in real time. It was a really good setup for me. Not only was it a really good setup for me, but my trading partner actually found it before the open, knew I'd really love it. Can someone say that about you? Dennis, can somebody say, Dennis really loves multiple time frame, high beta technical support trades? And, Dennis, here's one of them. Alan, can somebody say to you, I really like high beta breakout trades with the market overall breaking out. Jackie, can somebody say to you, Jackie really loves inefficiency trades. Let me help him with that. And so not only should you know what your A-plus trades are, but the guys around you ought to know that as well. And when you see those really good trades, you got to sort of get to the point where you say to yourself, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to be big. There was a couple times in Mattel I was like, should I lighten up? Should I lighten up? And I was like, no, I'm not going to lighten up. This is my trade. I don't really care what happens. You should actually say that to yourself. I don't care what happens. My job is to put on risk when I see the setups that I really like. I've done the work. I've studied. This is one of them. Stop. Don't take it off because I'm going to cost myself a lot of money. Stay with it. You've got to trade big in your best setups. Resilience is essential. Big Dog's path was not simple. It was not easy. And you do need coaching and mentoring. Let's sort of take a step back right here. And this is really a message for the guys who are watching at home. And I think there are some people at home, maybe you're making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, and you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make enough money to be a professional trader. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make enough money to really make this a thing. And I can just tell you an anecdote from our desk from 4 years ago. 4 years ago, SMB and KTG entered a joint venture on the trading side of our business. And some of our younger guys were guys who were making $3,000 and $4,000, $3,000 and $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month, maybe $10,000 a month. And there were traders in Austin who had traded for 10, 15 years whose P&L some of the newer guys could see. And they were a little bit in awe 4 years ago of how much money some of these legacy veteran KTG traders were putting up. And they have some really, really talented traders. And that was inspiring to the younger guys. But they were still sitting there, 3s and 4s and 5s and some 10s. I went to the holiday party in Austin, Texas last weekend, and some of those same traders in Austin who our younger guys really looked up to came up to me and said things like, who is that Swang guy? I've been watching him on my blotter. I've been trying to copy what he's doing. And every time I try and copy what he's doing, I can't do it. And these are seven-figure guys. And who's that, who's Shark? I tried to trade some of those, I tried to trade some of that dry ships and I got run over and, he made hundreds of thousands in it. How does he do it? So guys who 4 years ago were looking up to other guys are now guys who have surpassed or are knocking on the door. You know, they're now making hundreds and 200s. They're putting up $100,000 months, $200,000 months. And, you know, those guys they looked up to are being surpassed and are asking, hey, how are they doing it? And so if you're sitting there at home and you're like, hey, can it be me? Well, we've seen that on our desk where some guys were doubting whether it could be them and figuring out the setups that they really liked, slowly getting bigger in a responsible way, slowly pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, utilizing technology, working, studying the heck out of your strengths, using the buying power that you got. There's been tremendous progress. And I was down there as a guest, and I wasn't really happy about this, but they sort of made me go up and talk to everyone without telling me. And so we're at this holiday party. I'm having a good time. You know, I'm having a good time. I'm just talking to everyone. I just minded my own business, and I got to go up there and talk. And so I said, look, you know, thanks for inspiring us, but you know, we're kicking your butt right now. You know, you're going to have to come after us. And you know, what I say to the guys here when I relayed that anecdote was, look, this is how much progress some of you have made in 4 years. We got to make that kind of progress going forward. You know, we got to take 7 figures to mid 7 figures. And here's our, we gotta, all these guys have plans to year by year how to get better, but that's where we got to be with these guys in another 3 years. Like all trades, it's something that you're going to have to master. The first step is you try it. So one of the things we do in the Winning Trader is we, you know, Dennis, you know this, we present a bunch of different trades. We present 10 trades in very specific details, but we also present a lot more trades during our mentoring sessions. And we say to the students in the Winning Trader the same thing that we tell our students internally, which is, look, it's my job to expose you to certain trades. It's my job to tell you the trades that make people a lot of money in our space. I have a lot of information. I know the trades and how people make a lot of money in our space. But, you know, and it's good to paint by numbers, copy the masters, to be an apprentice and copy these trades. But some of these trades are really going to work for you, and some of them aren't. I'm sure you don't take all 10 of these trades. And I can tell you that our guys who do really well here, they don't trade all 10 of the trades that we teach in the Winning Trader. They specialize in the ones that make sense to them and highlight their talents and that they've worked on. So, you know, my advice to you would be go out and try them, see if you like them. If you do, study them. If you feel like it makes sense to your talents, keep working at it. But also, there's a lot of different ways to attack these trades. This is not a one-size-fits-all type of trade. You can scalp this trade, you can swing trade this trade, you can swing trade this trade for multiple days, you can intraday swing trade this trade. That's sort of up to you, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But this is a pattern that guys have really good risk rewards on, and you know, have gone from young to really good. All right, so let's talk about a third day play in CSX. So the big picture was SPY was incredibly strong, trading above 227 and up to 228. So when you do your big picture, your job is to take a snapshot of the overall market. Where is the resistance level in the market? Where's the support? Yesterday we broke above that opening range after we gapped up. That's information we don't want to be short unless it's a really great short. We want to be long if things are particularly strong because the overall market gives us a nice push. CXX, in this case, continues to be super strong. So the intraday fundamentals for this trade, this is a transportation company. It's a rail company. Its ATR, its average true range, is 1.9. Its average daily volume is 15 million. Its R vol a little bit over 1. Its short float is 1.5%, very, very small short float. And the float is 394 million. So whenever I'm thinking about trading a stock, there's information that you want to know before you ever make a trade. This is some of that information. If you don't have this information, you're not prepared to trade. So the technicals for 1 year show a stock that has broken above that 38-ish area, moving towards a 1-year high. Let's take a look at our next chart. Our 3-month chart shows a nice break above that 38-ish area, climbing nicely well towards that 50-ish area. Let's break it down to our intraday. So on the longer term charts, we've got a breakout. We have no resistance in sight, right? So that's not really something I want to short. We hammer into the intraday chart, and we see a really tight wedge pattern. We see a really tight wedge pattern holding above VWAP. We see a very tight wedge pattern holding above VWAP in a stock that's in play. And our strategy is to buy the break. Buy the break above the tight wedge pattern and hold it until there's a reason to sell it. If you really love the pattern, you can buy that into the consolidation when it's holding above VWAP. So buy the bottom of the wedge and add when it breaks above the tight wedge pattern. So you can get a little bit of position into the base and you can add above it. All right, so somebody asked where the stops are. So if you're going to buy the bottom of that wedge pattern, your stop is below VWAP. If you're going to buy the break, you're going to expect that stock to move up very, very quickly. I believe somebody asked that question a little bit before. I think this is really one of the things I like about this trade is that there aren't as many trade decisions that go into this trade. The exits are pretty easy to define. Break of the trend line. If it gets too vertical. If the trade gets to your target price. If there's something clearly different on the tape. If there's breaking news that comes in that changes the trade. You need a reason to sell before you exit. This is a trade we expect to work. You need a reason to sell it. And again, we're not trying to capture the bottom of the trade. We're trying to capture the meat of the move. When I'm in a trade and something really pushes away from price and really gets too vertical, you have a different risk reward on your hands. Now you have to ask yourself, is the risk of me holding this stock worth it? And there are going to be times when something just moves away from price too quickly. And it really depends on the stock, and it depends on the ATR of the stock, and it depends on how big the move is, and a couple of things. But when you trade these patterns enough, you are going to create rules for what it looks like for you for something to be vertical. You need to create rules. And when those rules are triggered, you're going to want to, at a minimum, lighten up, because the risk just isn't any good anymore relative to the reward. It's just, you're so far in the money, you're going to give back all this open profit if this thing just stops right here. Better to just lighten up, watch the pull in, maybe think about adding a little bit lower. I love this anecdote. I was walking across town from the west side to the east side, getting ready for the Super Bowl. I was listening to ESPN radio, and I like to listen to Mike and Mike, and they said something that was just fascinating to me. And this is right in line with the spirit of the Super Bowl, and I know we have at least one Pats fan in the room. And I will say this first, my apologies to all those who hate the Pats right up front, but this amazing fact was learned by me when I was sort of walking across town, which is the Patriots have one first-round draft choice who starts on offense. They have 3 undrafted players who start on offense. I think one of their undrafted players who starts on offense played lacrosse at Penn State. And I think of you guys who are watching at home as undrafted players because maybe you're a retail trader, maybe you're semi-serious as a trader, maybe you're just thinking about starting as a trader. The guys in the room are drafted players. You guys at home are undrafted players. But the Patriots offense shows the importance of selecting for your system and development. You're that undrafted player, and development, watching the Patriots offense, it's so clear how important development really is. And so learning how to make these wedge pattern trades, thinking about coming in like Dennis and taking the winning trader and being exposed to 10 really critical setups for being a good active trader, is you putting yourself in a position to develop as a trader. It's you putting yourself in a position to tap into something way more important than where you went to college or who you know, or the stereotypes of who gets hired on Wall Street. Your development is essential. The Patriots in the Super Bowl all the time. Their offense is terrific. They have one player drafted in the first round. That would be like this firm having one person from an Ivy League school or one person walking around who was a star Division I athlete. It would be the same thing. So those of you who feel like you are undrafted, I wouldn't worry about it too much. You find the trades that work for you, you put in some work, you get some good mentoring and coaching, you can start. All right, so let's talk about ATI. This is a breakout against the level. And the big picture for this trade, SPY incredibly strong, trading above 227 and up to 228.08 before pulling back a little on the close. ATA was strong like bull. Very, very strong stock. When we look at our intraday fundamentals, this is a specialty materials and composite producer. The ATR is 0.6, not very much. I actually like to trade stocks with a ATR of 0.8 or higher. It's rare for me to want to trade something with an ATR less than 0.8. The average daily volume is 1.9 million. That's a good amount of volume. I don't like to trade stocks with less than 0.6 million shares of volume. The R-vol is very high. This is an example right here of how R-vol is telling us the stock is really in play. 11. All right, that's very high. If I got an R-vol of 3 or better, I'm pretty happy. The short float is 24%. That's a very high short float interest. When the short float interest is that high, stocks can really spike to the upside because there are natural buyers. There are natural buyers because there are so many people who are short. The market overall is just supply and demand marketplace. And so you've got lots of people that if this thing starts to get strong, have to buy the stock. The float is 102 million. All right, let's move on to technicals. We'll talk about a game plan. So before the open, our best traders share game plans with their junior traders. So we have teams of traders. The senior traders write up game plans and share them with the junior traders. The junior traders share their game plans with the senior traders. Steve Spencer, my partner, shares his game plan with everybody in our community on real time and with our desk. And it gives you a roadmap of how you want to spend your attention. When the market opens, particularly during earnings season, a lot of times you can get lost in too many opportunities. But if you develop a game plan, you remember better where the great longs are and where the great shorts are. So let's get to those technicals, Merritt. 1 year technical chart, we've got pretty clear resistance as we see at the top near this 19-ish area. Let's take a look at our next chart. Our 1 month chart, we've got a stock that's breaking out above that longer term resistance. So we've got another stock that's really, really strong. As we take a look at our 1 minute chart, so on our longer term charts, we don't have any resistance in sight. So we want to see a pattern that's holding above VWAP. In this case, we've got a really strong opening drive to the upside. We've got a flag pattern that's coming in. More specifically, we've got a wedge pattern that's coming in. That wedge pattern is holding above VWAP. It's really tight. It's really tight. You've got a stock broken out. You've got a stock with a news catalyst behind it. You've got a stock holding above VWAP. And then, as you can see on the bottom, when it breaks out, you get that volume confirmation. You get a huge volume spike as this stock breaks out. You want to buy that with a stop against VWAP. Again, you can buy the bottom of the wedge. In this case, you're going to set the stop below the bottom of those wicks. If you're going to buy the bottom of the wedge, you're going to buy the breakout. You should expect that stock to go up very, very quickly. So sometimes somebody asks me, hey, what's your stop for these particular stocks? The last pattern we looked at, the stop was below VWAP. In this case, the stop is going to be below the wicks. So not every trade is exactly the same, but not too complicated here. So you want to buy that, and let's take a look at a 5 minute chart. And this is a case we're going to look at, so we're long, and now we want to look at our longer term 5 minute charts and make sure that the trend in the 5 minute charts is working as well. You can also bring up a 15 minute chart, a 30 minute chart to take a look at that. One of my favorite trades to teach along with this wedge pattern is a multiple time frame technical support trade, something that has gone up on increasing volume, has a high RVOL, something that's holding above VWAP, something that's holding on multiple time frames. If we look at a 1 minute chart, a 5 minute chart, a 15 minute chart, a 30 minute chart, we can see that there's support for a particular chart, for a particular stock. I love that trade. It's a great trade to be thinking about. It's one of the trades we actually also teach in the Winning Trader. But you can see this is working nicely in the 5 minute chart. This is a trade to hold for me. So let's talk about our exit. So we're in the money, and how do we move the stop? Again, you need a reason to sell the stock. It's working. Unless you're scalping this play, which I don't think a lot of you want to do as retail traders, maybe like Swang would scalp it in here, but most of our guys, and I think you guys would want to trade this as more of an intraday swing trade. So you need a reason to sell. I wrote extensively about the variables for reason to sell in the playbook. For those of you who've read it or haven't, go check it out. Some of them are break of the trend line. So you draw a trend line. Breaking news that changes a trade. We're connected to all of these news feeds. If something comes out that may change the trade, that might be a reason to exit. It's too vertical to the upside. We're now too much risk. There's too much risk to be long from this price. Maybe the tape clearly changes. Maybe time. Maybe it's just not going up anymore. So time is passing and it's just not working anymore. So the most common one, to sort of answer your question, is a break of the trend line. I mean, that's the most common way you're going to exit these things. The second most common is the stock just gets too vertical. But those are some of the things you want to be thinking about. So mostly we're a proprietary trading desk. 85% of my time is dealing with the guys in the room and helping our guys make more P&L. Or a P&L desk, We fund all our traders, we back all our traders. That's what we're in their business of. And we spun off, we became good because no one else on the street develops traders from new to consistently profitable to high-performing trader to seven-figure trader like us. There's nobody who is as good in development in our space. Our competitive advantage is our learning culture and our education and our training. Period, the end. And look, we hire a certain amount of people that you guys saw in, in this classroom today, but the reality of the situation is there are undrafted free agents out there. Maybe Dennis is one of them, maybe Alan is one of them, who maybe we overlooked. And the home run for SME training is what we call finding Raf. So Raf was one of our trainees, took our college training program, and came in and liked what we were doing. And during his last couple of weeks, we noticed he was doing pretty well, and came to us towards the end of that training and said, here are my results. I'm making money. He was making 3s and 4s, nothing great, $3,000 and $4,000 a month. And we interviewed him. Had been through our training program, so we knew him. Saw he had interest in trading because he was trading. Saw he had a little bit of edge because he showed it to us. And applied for the desk, interviewed for the desk, and we hired him. And now he's had months where he's made over $100,000. This month he's up over $60,000, and we're not done with the month. So he is our home run because we got exposed to somebody that we would not have hired if we did not have SME training. We wouldn't have him on our balance sheet. He would be sitting there making 3s and 4s if he didn't find us. So that's our home run. That's why we reach out to the best students in the Winning Trader and offer them free training in-house with us for 6 weeks, because we're looking for special, motivated people who are trading nerds like us, people who want to get better, people who want to improve, people who will accept coaching, people who want to be seven-figure traders, not something less than that, aren't satisfied with that. And look, I hope some of you listening are going to be our new Raf. On that note, Merritt, why don't you come in here? Merritt is going to introduce a terrific opportunity for you guys to perhaps be that Raf or be Dennis, and at a minimum elevate your trading level to a much more professional level.
I'm going to walk you guys through everything you need to know about the Winning Trader, the opportunity it presents to you, both from just a pure learning perspective as well as the opportunity it presents to you to end up on our desk like some of these examples we're talking about today. Now, don't forget, just want to mention it again, $500 off. This ends at midnight. Promo code, when you pull up, you can go to smbu.com/winning. No www in front of it, just smbu.com/winning. And if you could put that in the chat, that'd be great. WIN17 is the promo code for $500 off. So, what is the Winning Trader exactly? It's a strategy course. I kind of alluded to this earlier. It's a little different than most of what SMB offers. We typically teach more, here's how you need to think about training, here's how you find levels, here's how you prepare for your day, here's how you find stocks in play. This is a little different. It's going to teach you actual buy and sell points. We covered a basic example today of that wedge breakout pattern, which is a great one, but we're going to cover so much more, and it's going to be all current examples, and I'm going to tell you all about it here. Now, these 10 trading setups we're going to teach you, they're not just something we found a chart and it looked good one time and we're going to try and tell you what it is. All right? We are not your typical online trading guru. We are a very large New York prop desk, and the people that are going to be teaching these trades to you, make their living from exploiting these opportunities in the markets. We're inviting you to train on our desk, okay? All these guys around us right now in the conference room, they're training on our desk. They're trading firm capital. You're gonna sit in on some of the exact same training that we are teaching our guys, okay? It's not just something we're packaging up to sell to you at home. This is our training. We take this very seriously. We're gonna teach you one setup a week, but we don't just say, here it is, good luck, okay? We'll spend each week using multiple meetings each day that you'll have full access to right here in this conference room with real-time market examples of these setups that we're focusing on, or this setup, I should say, that we're focusing on each week. This helps you learn the setup a tremendous amount better. Get more reps. We're all about getting more reps. See more examples. See different subtle variations in the setups, nuances. You can ask questions about the setups during these mentoring meetings, okay? It's not some video pre-recorded thing you watch. This is real-time, interactive learning. You're being taught by partners of this very firm. Author, co-founder, Mike Bellafiore, you just heard from him. Co-founder, Steve Spencer, okay? Not just some guy we pull off the street. You're being taught by actual high-performing traders, some of them seven-figure traders. When you sit down for one of these meetings with us via webcast from home, you're joining our actual training in parallel to the professional traders on our desk and how we're coaching and mentoring and teaching. You're joining us in that, okay? You're conferencing into this very conference room with our partners and coaches. I simply do not know where else you can get this kind of access. Some of you are, no doubt, in this webcast right now, some of you are beginners, some of you are intermediate with some experience, and some of you are advanced, already making some money. For the beginners, one of the big things you should be focusing on is finding your niche. What style of trading speaks to you, resonates with you, complements your strengths, okay? This is going to expose you to various ways of trading, various styles of trading and setups. And so you can kind of get a feel for, you know what, this seems to work for me and resonates with me, and start to build a niche and build an expertise in that arena. For the intermediate trader, you've kind of started to find your niche maybe. You've developed some good habits and whatnot, maybe some bad habits. Maybe you don't know exactly what processes you should have in place to really take it to the next level. Well, you're going to get to see how a professional operates on a day-to-day basis, okay? How they prepare, how they build out playbooks and find edge in the markets, how they improve, how Bella interacts with these professionals, taking them to an even higher level. So even you can take that into self-coaching, good questions to ask yourself. But really modeling what you're doing at home after a professional and in a professional environment can be huge. And again, adding setups to your playbook. And that especially holds true for the advanced trader. Maybe you've built some great consistency with a handful of plays. You're really becoming a master there. It's time to diversify a little bit. It's time to add to your repertoire what you're doing. Add another arrow to the quiver, so to speak, and continue to build out and expand your possibilities for profiting in different market conditions and in different environments and different types of stocks and markets. What if you don't like the winning trader? Try it out for 2 weeks. Okay, it's a 10-week program. You can literally dip your toes, try it for 2 weeks. If you don't like what you see, don't like what you hear, it's not working for you, full refund, no questions, period. We're happy to honor that if you don't feel like you're getting great value out of what we're doing here. Are you sure, just to reiterate, are you sure I'm not going to be left out on my own? Some people buy training and in various fields, including trading, and they're just kind of left alone. They pay the money, they don't care about me anymore. This is unbelievable right here. Unlimited personal email access for trading questions to trading coach, author, partner of our firm right here, Mike Bellafiore. I mean, decades of experience at your fingertips. Unbelievable. We alluded to this a little bit earlier, just how big of an opportunity this is, okay? So just a little bit about SMB. Bella said it just slightly earlier. We really have two sides to what we do. We have the vast majority of our focus on the prop desk, on trading, on developing traders, building traders from scratch into high-performing traders, okay? The other side is what we're doing here tonight. We take some of the exact same training and methods that we use on our desk to build up traders, and we offer that to you guys at home, okay? There's also two ways that we hire traders, and I promised some of you earlier in the chat that I would get to this and tell you exactly how we do it. One is you can apply to the firm, okay? We get thousands and thousands of applications, people that want to trade with us each and every year, okay? And you know, I would say we hire about 10 a year, okay, on average. So your odds are just very, very slim, and specifically about 0.13% of just getting hired outright based on the number of applications we get and the number of those that we hire. Very slim. Now, as you know, we have Ricky and Dennis is here giving it a shot. Guys that have come through our training, okay, that we get to know, that get to know us. Everyone makes sure it's a good fit. The work ethic is there. The untapped potential is there. Everything is a great fit with our culture, everything. These guys get a seat on our desk. They get fully backed. They get a massive opportunity, okay? And what exactly is this opportunity? You know, what is it really? There are guys in their young 20s, mid 20s, okay? You don't have to be some Wall Street veteran with gray hair walk in here and show us that you've got it. No, you don't have to be Ivy League. You come in here, show us what you've got, train with us, end up with a seat on the desk, show us what you've got, perform. There are guys here in their 20s with $10 to $20 million of buying power that they can deploy just like that they can take advantage of their A-plus setups, their best opportunities, make 150 grand on a trade. It happens all the time around here, okay? We've got some bonuses with the program as well, okay? Not only the 10 setups over 10 weeks, but all the meetings that we have here on a daily basis, you get every bit of that. That's number two. All the mentoring sessions for a full 90 days, $400 value. Number one, you get access to our suite of trading tools, our scanner, our radar. These are going to be things that once you join the class, I'd be happy to explain in full detail, but they're tools that you can use to find stocks in play, help you have more eyes on the market, find your gappers as a very basic example, find things with high RVOL. All of these things help you in a concise place. A lot of you earlier were asking, where can I get all this information? Well, our tools help really consolidate that and give you that quick access at your fingertips to help find the right plays and find these setups that we're going to be teaching you. SMB Premium membership for a whole year, $300 value. That membership includes access to premium-only webinars. Sit down once a month with Bella, and where only you get access to those webinars, as well as the recordings of those webinars and all the prior ones. Some of you may join Andrew Faldy and myself on Friday afternoons for trading conversations. Some good content there. All those are recorded and available to watch only as a premium member. You get our 10-day program, which is number 4, okay? $150 value. You get it free as part of signing up for the Winning Trader program. It's a program that's really going to teach you, from our perspective, what it takes to be successful, what it takes to be a consistently profitable trader, a professional, ways you're going to have to develop your mindset, your work ethic, your preparation, your review, all of these things that are essential components. Now, if you're already a yearly premium member, or you just recently signed up for Trader 90 and our tools or whatnot, just email support@smbcap.com, and whatever the prorated amount is of the overlap of the timing of the class, the winning trader, we will take that away and rebate that to you. So you don't have to worry about that. It's no extra cost. Now, you guys got to meet Dennis, the winner of last year's winning trader. Again, he won an in-house foundation. That's an $8,000 prize, okay? How did he win? And what do we kind of expect from you in the program to have a shot at winning? 10 setups over 10 weeks. Each week, at the end of the week, we ask you to submit a documented playbook trade. And don't worry, we're going to teach you how to build a playbook, which is another one of the invaluable reasons to take this course. You submit your best playbook trade of that setup for that week. You do that week after week. Be consistent, be good, do good work, show us what you're capable of. At the end of the 10 weeks, we pick the person that we believe did the absolute best work, and they win the in-house foundation. Come at your leisure, whenever your schedule fits, work it out with me. We'll get you here. And what's pretty cool is for the bonus week 11, that winner of that program, I can still remember doing it last year with Dennis. He did an unbelievable job. He's going to actually teach you guys, like we taught you setups. He's going to pick a playbook trade that he wants to teach to the group and teach it to you guys. In summary here, learn how to build your playbook, learn setups that real high-performing traders are having success with, train with a professional prop desk, not some online guru, okay? Learn the setups, see real market examples by joining our mentoring meetings. We're going to be saying, hey, this setup that we're teaching this week, here it was in this stock, here it was in this stock. Here's how we'd manage our risk. Here's the risk reward. Here's how we would manage it as it's going in our favor here, okay? Get your questions answered, okay? Unlimited email access to Bella. Show us what you've got. Earn that funded account. Earn that seat on our desk. We really challenge you to give it your all and show us that. So that's the end of the webinar tonight. Promo code, as we've mentioned, only valid through midnight. smbu.com/winning is how you register. So hope you've got something valuable out of this today. I know I have, even sitting here as a kind of weathered veteran myself. I always get something out of this time with Bella and hearing the experience. So thanks for joining us. Promo code, join us for the winning trader. It's going to be top notch.